Greetings, dear ones. Forgive me for talking a bit loud, but there's a fan going on in my room, so I have to talk a bit louder than I usually do in order to fight against all the white noise. Today's video is going to be about my own mental health struggles. This is my mental health update, part 4, in which I talk about how my mental health is progressing. I suffer from depression as well as schizophrenia. Although more specifically, I would say I suffer from psychosis and depression. Psychosis is basically when someone is detached from reality. That's what a psychotic person. It's not necessarily a serial killer or a rapist. That's just a stereotype of psychotic people. I'm psychotic, but I wouldn't hurt a fly. I'm a very gentle, very nonviolent person, and I'm with that with animals and with humans. I don't get angry very easily, and I'm very, I don't like confrontation. Um, so yeah, depression-wise, I've been fine. I don't think there's been any flare up that I can recall over the last few weeks. But the schizophrenia has been really, excuse me, it's been very difficult. I've been having a lot of hallucinations. Most of them are auditory hallucinations. That is to say, I hear voices. And I know that from a medical point of view, these voices don't actually exist. It's just a problem with my brain. But to me, they are all too real. All too real. They're as real as the nose on my face. But I understand from a medical point of view that they are delusions. And I think I also, not only do I suffer from hallucinations, but I also have kind of a delusion of grandeur where I think that God has appointed me to be a preacher to jinns. Not the kind of jinn that you drink. No, I'm talking about jinns. Jinns. I believe that I can hear jinns and speak to jinns and preach to jinns. And so I believe that God has raised me up to be a preacher to jinns. Even though, as it was with the voices, I'm not convinced that my experiences with jinns are false or hallucinatory. I believe that they're real. But from a medical point of view, these jinns don't actually exist, even though I'm convinced that they do exist. But that's a delusion of grandeur, I think. And there are a lot of different delusions where people think they're God or people think that they're a prophet or stuff like that. I don't think that. But I do believe that God has raised me up as a preacher to jinns. And so I hear them every single day. A lot of times they ask to see my tattoos on my back. I have two, I'm not going to show in this video, but I have two tattoos on my back, the Toronto Maple Leafs logo and the Dragon Force logo. The Toronto Maple Leafs are a hockey team that I like, and Dragon Force is a band that I like. In fact, I love them. I was I had to sit through like an hour or two of tattooing to get it on my back, so my love was more intense than the pain. But anyways, um, yeah, so I've really been having a tough time with my psychosis. In fact, just a few days ago, I witnessed my brain being eaten by worms. I didn't just feel it, I saw it. I literally saw worms eating my brain. That was a vision that I had. I was just closing my eyes like this, and I opened them up, and all of a sudden I saw worms there. That's the first time ever seeing that before. I have never seen anything even close to that before. So that was a psychotic episode. And I'm also hearing voices a lot. The voices really do tell me to worship my higher self, or, a lot of times they're just screaming at me. I don't even know what they're saying. But there's a big difference between a hallucination and a jinn. Jinns are real, I believe, but um, but the hallucinations are not real, and it's pretty clear to me, at least, what their difference is. Sorry, I just have to exit something. Uh, Anyways, um, so yeah, um, and in fact, while I was suffering from hallucinations, the Lord led me to a verse in the Bible. It's in Psalm chapter 50, verse 15. Psalm 50, verse 15. I'll read it just in case you don't have a Bible with you. The Lord says, "And call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you, and you shall glorify me." So God is all too willing to answer our prayers. But you have to call upon him, though. Not everyone who prays to God. You have to call upon me, as God says, call upon me in the day of trouble. So you have to believe that he is God and that he's able to help you. I mean, let's face it, I've tried it my way. I've tried medication, I've tried counseling, I've tried support programs, I've tried, you know, I even attempted suicide when I was 17. So this is not something that we should be quiet about. This is something that I believe the Lord wants me to touch on. The church needs to deal with it. I don't want to just be another YouTube preacher. I want to be a mental health advocate as well. I want to encourage people to get treatment and to ask God who will relieve them. There are still people being saved. There are people being healed of cancer. There are people being delivered from eating disorder and suicide. Bible days are here. They're here. God is still performing miracles all over the world. So, yeah, call upon me, God says, and I will deliver you, and you shall glorify me. So, God is making a promise that He is going to rescue you. And when you have that confidence, you pray about it. You pray with it. Because when you have the sense in your spirit that the Lord knows how to deliver me, it goes a long way in helping your faith. And the more faith you have, the more likely God is going to answer that prayer. Because without faith, it's impossible to please Him, as the New Testament says. I don't recall where that passage is from, but whatever. I know it's in the Bible. But yeah, um, that's all I really have to say right now. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that all of you will consider Psalm 50:15. Let me read it one more time. "And call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you, and you shall glorify me." God is willing to give you enough grace to overcome your mental health problems. Now, I'm not saying God is necessarily going to heal that problem. I mean, I've asked Him to heal my depression and psychosis countless times, and He still hasn't done it. But I think, God is using my suffering as a way of speaking with experience. I can speak with experience because of my mental health problems. That's how I can better reach mentally ill people as opposed to someone who doesn't have any mental health problems at all who speaks to mentally ill people. I can speak with experience because I know what it's like to be at the lowest of the low. So, yeah, anyways, I think I've gone on long enough. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope that all of you have a beautiful day. God bless you.